We're wrapping things up here on the stage, so I have to say thank you again to Candace for playing wonderful host there in Shanghai, and of course MLXG Clear Love for helping us out on pulling those names as well. While they may not have given North America the best of odds, they did a good job on the pulling of the names. Although the meta of mixing up the balls has not really changed in the years that we've run the groups draw show. I will add.
Yep.
It's a very circular motion.
All right.
Groups here. I wrote down some stuff, by the way, as well. Assuming Mad Lions makes it out, they have to go to Group A. Assuming LGD makes it out, they have to go to Group C, which as a result means Team Liquid would go to Group B automatically is the only spot they can go to because North America is in the other groups. And so that would be Team Liquid and Rogue facing off in the group of Ultimate Death there with Damwon and JD Gaming, which also just feels like the group of life for those squads because I feel like they are so incredibly strong here. The G2 Esports Suning one's going to be fun. Yeah, I mean,
Group D is Group of Death, right? I mean, no one gets out other than, like, you have to assume.
Yeah. B and D are both pretty deathy in their feelings.
There's a lot of death.
I would give maybe the death crown to Group B.
Okay.
As Freak's talking. If they get through, will also be probably.
I'm wrong about that. They could go Group A. I did my stuff wrong. Sorry about that.
I think Group C already has a merging bottom lane theme to me, which I think is pretty cool. Double Lift and Reckless have played against each other so many times. Ruler and Life especially, I think, going to show a lot of these supports what's up. So I'm super excited to see who gets drawn into Group C as well.
I love that, already calling out thematically from groups. What positions are we going to be highlighting? What about this Group A? It almost feels like G2 got a very favorable draw in this situation. Yep. Perhaps, the run back. They got that good karma from last year or something.
I think whichever group got Machi was going to be pretty happy.
Okay.
And so G2 with Suning and Machi, this also kind of sets them up for really good chances for moving past the group stage.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, with Suning already in the group, of course, LGD can't go into G2's one. So yeah, I take G2 over Machi. I think G2 Suning is going to be a fun match. It's going to be a close one. That's going to be, I think, an important battle because you can get seeding out of that and fight an easier quarterfinal opponent, of course. We get the round of EU versus LPL there as well. They get to fight the number 3 seed, a more defeatable team overall, so that's going to be exciting. And roughly a coin flip if Team Liquid's in that group there as well. Is the other coin flip there. So either way, that is a group that G2 fans should be happy to see. G2 players should be happy to see. And that versus Suning is the fight for number 1, and I can't call it definitively for who's better.
Fair enough. Taking a look at Group B, as you mentioned, that's a scary group. Of course, Rogue, TSM, we didn't get it. It's what all the fans want. That's, by the way, when Freak was teasing what happened in rehearsal. I'll just let you all know, so you can be even more disappointed. Yep. During rehearsal, we got TSM Rogue as the pick. Didn't happen. Didn't materialize in real life. But who knows? Maybe they'll both make it out of the group stage and meet for a best of 5 in the brackets.
That's the hope.
That's
the other group that Team Liquid could go into. Of course, Mad Lions can't go there, nor could they go into the G2 group because of same region. The only group Mad Lions could go to is down in Group D. We'll get to that one later, but this is one of the 2 options for Team Liquid for all the LCS fans watching. I'm sorry, Team Liquid, you got to the play-ins, and this one's a tough one. If this is the coin flip that you pick up here, Damwon and JD
Growth
Gaming.
mindset, Freak.
Yeah, growth mindset. Can you level up to this level? I mean, hey, they beat the former world champions at MSI last year. Who knows? Regardless, though, I mean, these are 2 of my top 3 teams in Damwon and JD Gaming. They are exceptionally talented players, and I mean, this could easily be a preview of the World Final. That we know that those teams, if they make it out, are on opposite stages of the bracket at that point on. These are just excellent teams. Not much more to say.
Actually, that to me is what seems kind of wild here. I could see both Damwon JD being a final. I could also see top DRX being a final. So you potentially have finals previews in 2 of the groups. And going further down the line on Group D here, Kobe, while we did talk about how difficult this will be for FlyQuest, I'm very intrigued and interested to see how the FlyQuest I know from North America attempts to handle these 2 top teams of Top Esports and DRX, play style-wise.
Yeah, mitts on when you try and handle these ones because it is going to be extremely dangerous. For the FlyQuest side, I think they really have evolved over the course of the entire year, the team. So I think they are pretty flexible in what they can bring to the table. I know Solo, especially as the only person on FlyQuest who's new to the world stage, is extremely excited. He's going to definitely have his hands full, especially against top esports, because they like to send a lot of jungle attention up there early on. And Solo has talked about, being the glue man, being able to play whatever the team wants. If he tries to play, a weak matchup and weak side without extra resources in there, that is going to be a really tough task. So good luck.
Good luck, FlyQuest, on the deep sea quest for that world championship. Group C is the last one that I want to hit on real quick. Team Soul Mid, Fnatic, Gen G, of course. I think that this is a favorable draw for TSM, considering in a lot of cases there are other options. Not saying it'll be an easy group by any means, but for the North American 1 seed, they should be pretty happy here.
Yeah, this is maybe the only group you could maybe say, maybe TSM could win this group. I think there's very few other draws where you can come in having a reasonable shot at based on how LCS is done historically, to say, hey, maybe this is one that TSM can top. It is possible here. TSM Fnatic is going to be a very, very fun match. Gen G, of course, is a very good team as well, so we'll see how that goes, but they were certainly a tier below the really top-end LCK teams to me. So Fnatic, of course, we saw them really step up last year at Worlds. We saw them beat RNG, for example, right? So we had Reckless getting the better of Uzi. Reckless can get the better of Doublelift and Ruler here as well, quite possibly. So that can be a fun one to watch for. This is a group that Fnatic can win. This is the group that Gen G can win. This is the only group that LGD can go into, and I think it's even a group that LGD could win.
Yeah, I know a lot of LCK fans, and I was talking to Atlas as well. Actually thought, Gen G being more consistent than Dragon X would actually even be a more scary team. So it actually, as you're talking about it being hard to draw a group for TSM that looks good, I agree, and this one is definitely going to be scary. But regardless, you're going to have to work your way out anyway.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly, and maybe the bot lane focused group is the right group for Doublelift to finally prove himself on the international stage. Well, with our 4 groups here decided, honestly, our 6 groups, because we should not forget our playing groups as well, decided, let's give you some insight into how we'll be covering Worlds 2020 from Shanghai. Now, casting will be a 3-city approach, with your favorite casters bringing you all of the action from play-ins to the finals from Berlin, Los Angeles, and Seoul. Our friends in Berlin from the LEC studio will be bringing you World's Countdown to kick things off daily. Most analyst desk segments and remote interviews will be happening from Berlin as well. Then, to wrap things up and say good morning to some of our North American fans, those of us here in Los Angeles will be bringing you World's Cooldown, presented by State Farm. A recap of the day's action with a look ahead at what the next day will bring. In short, we've got plenty of coverage going into what is sure to be another action-packed World, so don't miss out on all of the Riot Games channels. Oh, and sorry, one final thing. Stop asking who's casting Worlds, okay? As we all know, Worlds casters are selected by sending an Iron-level League of Legends player to Mount Targon with a single gold coin in his pocket. Now, after delivering said gold piece to a shaman, the names of this year's casters will be delivered by a swan to Deficio's doorstep. We anticipate that all things will be ready for an announcement in the next 48 hours, a.k.a. soon. TM, all right? So we can stop asking. Boom. Is that clear to you, gents?
Yeah. I mean, right. I think it'd be weird if I'm on the draw show and they're not casting Worlds, but if that's what the pigeon says, it's what the pigeon says.
First of all, it's a swan, freak. You didn't even listen. It's a swan on Deficio's doorstep.
When you talk, Dash, I don't listen. That's just normal.
All right, I guess that's fair. I guess that's fair. Well, so Freak doesn't even know if he's casting Worlds, so how could you at home know if he's casting Worlds? You got to wait for that swan, I promise you. It is going to be an interesting Worlds, guys, a Worlds like none other. I just want to give you both maybe a platform, final thoughts here before I send you off to the dive live to talk a little bit more analytically about some of the stuff we saw here today.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's been a year like no other, James, so I would expect nothing less from Worlds. I've already been having fun just watching the solo queue on the super server from all of the teams, heading over there early on to play. So I'm super excited to see, what meta does emerge, especially since patch 1019 is coming out tonight, today, tomorrow, whatever time we're in right now.
It's going to be about 5 hours.
We're in the Twilight Zone, so it's early. It's coming out soon. That's the World's patch.
Woo!